Pamela, you up next?
Okay, I have a couple of questions if you don't mind. Um, my first question is how do you get to the level of comfortability where you're able to purchase outside of the state that you're in, in your, they're not small deals. How did you go about getting to that level of comfortability to say, okay, I'm not here, but this is a deal. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm not there to manage it on a day-to-day basis, but I trust that I could put together the team to do so.
Yep. Yeah, you kind of just said the answer. I trust that I can put the team together. But no, and that's one of the things that over the years you gain a lot of experience. I put together my find, fix, finish framework on how I structure the deals, how I kind of approach real estate, and it's just having that knowledge. And whereas that I grew up in Alabama, I went to school in Tuscaloosa, University of Alabama. My wife is from Birmingham, so when we pivoted to go to virtually to invest there, we were primarily investing in Centerpoint 35215, and that's where my wife grew up. So I got a lot of friends from Birmingham, so I was familiar with the area, the zip code. I could study the data and understand
Yeah.
what areas to buy in. Those first two
Okay.
rental properties that I talked about, we bought in 2013. They were in Birmingham, and so we
Right.
had a really good knowledge base of the area. So from there, I could drive down, meet with contractors, build the team up. I had family
Okay.
there that could work, work with the contractors, verify work had been done, and then I had a really good realtor who didn't mind being hands on, and providing those pictures and updates before I would pay the contractors. And so it was really
Oh,
just bringing the team together, and now it's just really, it's the same thing with the multifamily. I go down, I fly down for inspection. We actually did an inspection on the 56 on Monday of this week when I was there in town to close on the 40. And it's just really trusting the team. We had the home inspector team there. My partner, we walked the units. The realtor that we brought on, she didn't come down for this one, but for the 40 originally, went through. And you got the property management team that knows what things will rent for. They know what value add we need to come in and do with the cosmetic updates to get the market rent. And so it's really at that point, it's really just a team, and it's not about you. And that's why I tell people, like, as a real estate investor, if you're gonna be successful at this, you got to be a leader because you're
right.
leading all these different professionals who are experts that know all this information, and you just bring them together to get the deal done to make sure that it's successful. So it's really leaning on that team and getting that knowledge because you don't have to have all of it. And that's for me over time. I forced myself to learn a lot of it, but that slowed me down, and I didn't really look at networking and putting a team together to kind of do bigger deals up until the last few years.
Okay. My other question is you talked a lot about education and not, you need the education, but don't spend too long getting the education without trying to execute on some of the knowledge that you've gained through your education. What are some of the top three, I think, ways that you would say a person who is trying to get that knowledge and not wait, so long to jump in? What would you say? I know you mentioned going to like REI meetings, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
What other ways, or if there are any books or any other things that you could think of would be the top ways for you to kind of speed up your knowledge so that you could kind of jump in with a good foundation?
Yeah, no, that's a phenomenal question because that is key. Have you read Rich Dad Poor Dad? I encourage everybody to read that book. You definitely want to do the local meetups, but you also want to look at some of the bigger ones, where is that you're talking just to you got a diverse network of individuals, a diverse network of real estate investors that you want to have from just different perspective, from somebody investing in Dallas to somebody investing in LA, somebody investing in Alabama. They're going to approach things differently. Somebody that came up with no money that had to be creative and do that approach versus somebody who was wealthy that had access to capital, that they're gonna have a different journey. And so that's the thing that you can learn and pick their brain. But I think you definitely in-person meetups, the larger national ones, are always good. You want to have some good podcasts. My brother Jerome Myers has a great one, multifamily missteps, that I think it really comes from a different angle that you don't really see with a lot of people, with people sharing what messed up, what didn't work. Cause I'm all about learning mistakes from other people and getting that wisdom without me repeating it. So I really geek out on hearing people talk about mistakes that they made because I don't want to make those same mistakes. So
Right, right,
he has a
right.
good podcast. bigger pockets, and really just finding other people that are in that niche that you want to focus on. You know, whether it's flipping, it's birds with the cash out, refinances to keep his rental property, multifamily, self storage, mobile homes. You know, find somebody that's doing what it is that you want to do, and then just because success leaves clues that the path to get there is fairly the same. You know, you're gonna have a different trajectory to get there, but the path to success is it's pretty much the same with when you start talking about real estate, because real estate's made millionaires for the last 2 centuries, and people always need somewhere to stay. It's just not a matter of figuring out how can you integrate this into your lifestyle and where you starting at, because we're all going around the same track, you know, just like with a track meet, but we're all starting in a different location, you know. So I tell people, don't scoreboard watch, because you don't know where somebody started at, but you got to run your own race, and just, hey, take action and get that knowledge and keep going.
Gotcha. My other question is, I see that you are not afraid of hard money lenders. That was something I was gonna ask, but okay, you're not afraid of hard money lenders. And do you have any REIs that you recommend yourself?
No, I'll start with the hard money piece. Yeah, definitely. I recommend hard money lenders. That's how I got started, because I didn't have a whole lot of money to go pay, you know, cash to buy a house
Right.
outright. And a lot of times with distressed assets, the banks aren't going to lend to you. So you have to go that route, or you need to, you know, raise private money and pool money together to get deals done. So, and I
Right.
think that's the thing. If you do the analysis up front, do the math, then you can make sure that you're profitable and you have the cash reserves, to make sure that you're good through, you know, the whole deal term. Then you'll be fine with hard money, because yeah, they're gonna make their money, you know, a little higher than normal interest rate. But if you can still make 40 or 50 thousand in 4 or 5 months or less, then you know it's a means to an end, and you continue to grow.
Right.
Um, on the REIs, you definitely want to focus, you know, definitely in your local area first, with the local meetup to meet local investors there. But for as the big ones, it just depending on the single family side. I would tell you seven figure flipping. Where actually I'm a member of their high level altitude mastermind group, but we're getting together in Orlando next. I think it's Thursday through Saturday. I can't get there to Friday, but that's a great one. I joined up with them last year. It's a great event. Seven figure flipping on the multifamily side. Jerome Myers has a great virtual event, that kind of teaches, the multifamily side of it. I've attended Jake and Gino. They're pretty good as well. And you know, so bigger pockets, of course. I've never been to a BP comp, but I've heard good things about them as well too.
So it's just basically get out there, not just kind of like stay home and like read. You just kind of need to get out there and immerse yourself in the people with the people and be among the people that's actually doing what it is you want to do, and so that you can start building relationships and just really get that knowledge that you may not get from a book. So it's a good investment to kind of just get out there, even though you're a newbie. Just get out there and get in the midst, get in the flow. Thank
It,
you.
oh, no problem at all. Cause as a seasoned investor, nothing that warms my heart more than see somebody hungry that knows what they want out of real estate and that's going and getting it. Because the thing is that everything that you want, um, a stranger has it. Somebody that you don't know now has everything that you need to be successful. And everything that you have right now has gotten you to this point right now. But in order to be that investor that's going to have 100 units, that's going to have 10 units, um, you got to change who you are today, because where you are right now today isn't going to be the person that can achieve that thing. And so as we
Right.
continue to grow and better ourselves and continue to go through that transformation process, that's going to allow us to align with the right people, the right networks in order to help us achieve those goals. But we got to set the goals for our life, for our real estate investing journey, and then go out there and take action, because I'm a true proponent that God doesn't give us tables, He gives us trees. That
Mm,
everything that comes together, it starts in the mind with the idea of where we want,
yes.
what we want for our lives, and then He gives us the resources to make it happen. Those resources can come in money in your pocket, or can it come in form of money in a joint venture partner's pocket that can come in to make that vision come true that you want, for you and your real estate investing journey. So
Appreciate that, because I was just a little bit, I've always been kind of told like, no, it's too soon. You don't, like, you're a beginner, so you shouldn't be at those type of conferences and meetings and things like that. So, but I want to sit at the feet. I want to learn. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
And I know that podcast, I've talked to Reggie because we're in another group together. Count the Cost podcast is Reggie's podcast. So that's
Yep,
how I
yep.
heard about you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Any more questions for Johnny?
Hello, I have a question. So first of all, congratulations on all of your success.
Thank
Something
you.
that you said really resonated with me and is actually the question I have. So you mentioned that you like to learn from people's mistakes. Can you hear me, by the way? Can you hear
Yep,
me?
I can.
Okay, cool. So you said that you like to learn from people's mistakes. So even with reading your story and things like that, like you see, like, you started out in 2006 and you did say you waited a little bit. Um, but then, you've had all of the success. So what were some challenges that you went through? Like, what were some mistakes that you made? Because I feel like when you're trying to, I guess, like, take the same steps, but then you start to face like, dang, like maybe I'm not cut out for this or whatever. So what challenges did you face? And
Wow, no, that's a great question because a lot of times that you kind of take for granted the journey that people have to get to where they are today. But no, and I'm no different. I think the number one journey problem that a lot of people have is money. That I didn't come from a wealthy family or anything like that. I leveraged my credit. I had a credit line from Wells Fargo, and I had a $45,000 credit card from Navy Federal, and I made it work. Because that was what I had access to, and we had some money saved up, and I looked at the wife. I'm like, we're doing this, and she trusted me and trusted my knowledge that we could be successful, and we burned the bridges and we went and made that flip happen. But I think a lot of it, we had that one project where we had bought a $285,000 house, in Birmingham, in a really great part of town that took 9 months to sell. I had to fire a contractor virtually in the middle of the project and hire a new one that was a lot more expensive. My original contractor that did a great job on the last project, he was working another job and got stiffed and didn't get paid, and all his crew left because he didn't have the money to pay him. And literally, him and his wife were in there trying to paint and do the work in my project, and so it took a long time. And going through like those situations, that it gave me the focus to now that we focus on kind of blue collar, bottom of the housing market type houses, whereas that we're buying houses that are after repair values between 150 to 300,000, and whereas that more people can afford these starter homes versus the higher end of the workforce. So there's been challenges along those lines. Just like I was just talking about this week, whereas that at 48 hours from closing, that the seller walked away and said, "Hey, $200,000 you got to bring to the closing table," that we weren't expecting to have to come to the closing table. But I've learned whereas that you have to be continually raising money. You got to be continuously talking to people and have cash reserves, whereas that I could pool it all together real quick and close and bring other people, to come into the deal and be able to think creatively to make those things happen. And I think as you go through your journey, that there's gonna always be setbacks. The road to success is always under construction. That you're gonna always have difficulties, and that's life. But the thing is, if we're not moving out on our dreams, life is still gonna happen. Sucky stuff is still gonna happen. You're gonna lose people in your life. You're gonna lose loved ones. Whether you're doing real estate deals or you're not, you're gonna have those things happen. So why not move out on our dreams and continue to take action and just know those things are gonna happen? And it was funny when the guy said they were like, "Yeah, I don't. At this point, I don't think that we can do it." I just laughed because it was like, okay, always knew that, like, that's an option, and you always got to have that plan in the back of your head, like, hey, what if, and that's the military side of me. whereas that you always have a plan and you're always moving forward, because everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face, as Mike Tyson says. And so I think that's the thing. Flexibility is the key to air power. That you gotta, we say that in the Air Force, but it's really the real estate as well too. That you got to be flexible and know that you have the tools to be successful, whatever life throws at you, whatever deal throws at you, because you have a strong network and you have proven yourself to be the person that can get those things done. And you've done it time and time again, whether it was in real estate, or maybe it was being a single mother, or maybe it was, going through a certain relationship, or, being a manager at a job and you had to manage, diverse teams, whatever that skill set, that you have a body of experience that allows you to be successful. And I think the more you can tap into those past experiences, the better off you'll be with moving out in faith in whatever it is that you want to do in life.
Thank you. That was gold. That was gold. I have one more short answer, and then I have 2 rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So, the other question is, what are the magic words to get $200,000 in 48 hours? Because I think we would all like to know that.
There aren't any magic words. Cash reserves. I had the majority of it, and then I tapped into some credit lines. But when it comes to raising money, that you got to have experience in doing the thing. And I think that's one of the things that I learned probably 2019. That was when I really kind of embraced social media, sharing my journey more, sharing pictures of the projects that we were doing. Because I grew up, my mom always was telling me, don't let your left hand know what your right hand's doing. And whereas you kind of keep to yourself. But I had to get out that mindset. Whereas there was okay, I need to continue to grow my business. We're doing more deals and sharing more people. And there's more people, you'll be shocked, that really want to get a return on the investment, and they don't have any clue on how to invest their money. All they know is the stock market, and they're great at their W-2 job. They don't want to leave their job, but they don't have time to learn investing. They don't have the time to learn how to put a team together and the processes and systems to market for off-market deals. And so as I learned that, I started sharing more, posting, letting people know, hey, we got private investors, people are getting a good return on their capital. And so now a lot of people see kind of the social proof, and they hey, they subscribe for our newsletter, and then they come in and kind of see everything that's going behind the scenes, and kind of align, because you're helping them get a return. And I think the biggest mindset shift for me when it came to raising private money is you're presenting an opportunity. You're not asking anybody for money. You're not begging for money or anything like that. You're providing people opportunity every time, and the more transparent that you can be with that whole process, you're not gonna have any issues with raising money.
Thank you. And I like the way you said that, presenting opportunity, because that's a good way to mentally frame that for a person, because it might seem like when you come oh, here you want some money, and so I like the way that you put that. My 2 quick questions is, if you had to pick one or the other, would you pick jumping in or education?
Ooh, I'm gonna say jumping in, because take action.
Okay.
You can partner for your weaknesses, what you don't know.
Okay. And then, is a good partner vital? Because a lot of the guests that come on here, they're married, and they always mention how their partners are always on board and pick up that extra slack, and different things. So right. Would you say that just in the people that and everything, that a good partner is really vital to the success in this area?
I think in any area, if you look at anybody that's been successful, I'm gonna go sports analogy on you guys: Jordan and Pippen, Batman and Robin, Shaq and Kobe, So I think you really have to have. You can be. Don't get me wrong. You can be successful, independent. But even you look at individual people like Tiger Woods. They have a whole team and staff. He has a coach, a swing coach. He has a trainer. He has a dietitian. So you got to have people in your life. We as human beings were built to have relationships and to have people around. We weren't built to kind of go through life in a silo by ourselves. And I think having somebody that always has your back, that's looking from a different perspective, and that's the whole concept with mastermind groups. Inner circles, masterminds, or a club, book club, or anything, is all centered around having multiple minds, multiple people with different experiences all coming together to solve problems and to help you solve your problems. And so that's why you want to surround yourself with other successful people, other like-minded entrepreneurs that's trying to achieve the same things that you are. Whereas that now you got other people that have a vested interest in your success and that are going to help you be successful at the end of the day. And so I think that's the biggest thing. Whereas that you don't necessarily have to start by looking for a partner, but as you're going through, just aligning yourself with the right people. Where even if you're doing your own deals, that you have another entrepreneur when you run into an issue or a community, whereas they say, hey, I got into this issue with my contractor, what should I do? You have somebody that you can lean on, and you don't have to go through that journey by yourself.
I think that is a solid answer. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Well, no, Johnny, man, I just want to say thank you once again, man, for coming on here and everything you said, you talked about, man, just provided so much value to everybody, man. I just really appreciate it.